What is your fondest memory of Grandpa? Well, actually, I have a few fondest memories of Grandpa. I mean, I can't think of just one, but, I always remember whenever I was young, every time they would come down to visit us from Pennsylvania, they would have a gift. It could have been the smallest little trinket, but the fact that it was from them made it that much more special. I remember getting a Donald Duck bubble blower thing. I got a Donald Duck bubble pipe. Dipped it in the bubbles, and you blew the bubbles. I don't know why I always remember that, but I remember getting that. Do I think I'm Grandpa's favorite? No. I think Chris is Grandpa's favorite. Is there something that Grandpa gave you when you were younger that you still cherish today? I'm sure there's something that if I looked around the house, I could find something that he's given me that would always remind me of him. But there's something that ever since I found out about it, their house is basically marked for everything they're going to get, everything they're going to give away whenever they leave us. And there's only one thing that I really want, and that is the plank that Grandpa got from his USS Rochester as being part of the initial crew of that ship. And that's the only thing that I want. How will you feel when he is gone? I'm going to be extremely sad whenever he's gone. But he's going to live forever, so that won't really matter. When Grandpa comes to visit, what's the first thing you think of? What activities come to mind? Well, the first thing I think of when Grandpa comes to town, or whenever I hear Grandpa, the first thing I think of, garage sales. Garage sales, and estate sales. We get, I go over to my mom and dad's house, and every time my grandparents have visited, or maybe they'll send something in the mail, and they'll point to the corner and they'll say, "There's Grandpa's findings. Rummage through them," essentially. Is there something that Grandpa gave you that you still cherish today? I'm going to go back to that question. Last time we were up in Pennsylvania during Sarah's wedding, he took me, and this is the first time this has ever happened, he actually took me garage sailing with him. I've never gone. I've always heard the stories. But this is only 6 or 7 months ago, but we went out, and while it may seem kind of meaningless, he got me a couple of things that I use: a drill, a power drill, and a power jigsaw. And while those are just power tools, the fact that where I got them and when I got them, the very first time that I've ever gone on a garage sailing trip with Grandpa, I have those things to remind me of that. And I use them all of the time. When you were up in Pennsylvania a couple years ago, how did you feel? More excited about the game, or more excited about visiting the grandparents because you hadn't visited their house in a while? When we went up to Pennsylvania a couple of years ago to see that football game, to be honest, I was more excited to see their house. I was more excited to see Grandpa and Grandma because I hadn't been there in a while. Everybody knows I'm not the biggest fan of football, although I did want to see the stadium since I'd never been to, where my dad went to college and whatnot. But I was honestly more excited about seeing Grandpa and Grandma and the house, and I was excited about staying there and just being able to walk around and see stuff that I had seen when I was younger. What is a fond memory that you have of Grandma and Grandpa's house? I remember Easter egg hunting, or it was Easter time up at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and I remember the archway from their kitchen to that hallway. I remember sitting on I thought there was a stool or a table or something in the doorway and peeling Easter eggs. What's a fond memory you have of their house? I've always been fascinated with that basement. Every time I go there, I have to go down in the basement. It's the smells, it's looking at it, and when I go down in there, that smell reminds me of, it's the smells whenever I'm out and about down at my own house or in Greenville where we live. If I smell that smell, it always makes me think of Grandma and Grandpa's house. While you're in Pennsylvania this last time, is there something that you want to make sure that you see or do one last time in their house? I want to make sure that I go down in their basement. I want to go in their backyard. I want to just see the whole house. There's nowhere in particular that I remember really, but going in the front door and seeing the stairway, and until recently, did you ever think Grandma and Grandpa would ever actually be gone one day? My grandmother and grandfather will live forever. Just like my mother and father. They're going to live forever. That is where I stand. That is my final statement. Grandpa, happy 80th birthday. I love you. Thank you for being the greatest grandpa anyone could ever have or anyone could ever ask for. We, the entire Dufala family, want to express how much we love you.